Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kristen, and in today's video, we are going to pick my April TBR. I am super excited to pick out next month's TBR, especially because I didn't play my TBR game in March, so I've been missing it. But before we get into these books, friendly reminder to hit that subscribe button down below and turn your notification bell so you don't miss any uploads from me. I, of course, talk about books on this channel, so if that is where your interests lie, you should definitely hit that subscribe button. A quick reminder of what my TBR game is. I have my jar full of prompts. I will be picking 5 prompts out of these, and then, of course, matching a book to each of the 5 prompts, and then this will make up my physical TBR for each month. The only other rule is that each of the prompts are a certain color, and if I pick a specific color 5 different times, then I have to add a 6th book to my TBR for the month. I don't have any consequences for myself or anything like that. If I read them, I read them. If I don't, then I don't. And that's just the way of life. So let's hop right on in on picking the first prompt. All right. And so our first prompt is light blue, and it reads, read a book that has or will be adapted. So I have 2 options for this book. I automatically thought Heartstopper Volume 2 because we all know that that is being adapted into a Netflix show coming soon. So I either want to read this or I wanted to read the first book in the Bridgerton series because the 2nd season has just dropped. And I haven't watched the 1st or the 2nd season of Bridgerton, but for some reason I'm feeling the urge to watch the show and read the book. So that is going to be my other option. We'll see what I end up choosing, but right now I'm going to say I'm going to be reading Heartstopper Volume 2. 1, because it's a graphic novel, so it's short and I'll definitely finish it this month. And 2, because I already have it physically. I meant to buy Bridgerton during my last Barnes & Noble trip literally yesterday, but I got distracted by all the other books there and completely forgot that that was on my to-buy list. So I didn't buy it. Therefore, we are going with Heartstopper Volume 2. And if you don't know already, Heartstopper is a graphic novel series that follows Nick and Charlie, who basically start off as strangers, then they become best friends, and then that relationship turns romantic. I read the first volume in January and I absolutely loved it. It was so wholesome. 5 stars, of course, and I'm so excited for the Netflix adaptation. So I'm really happy that I was able to add this to my TBR, and hopefully I can read volumes 3 and 4 as well before the Netflix adaptation comes out. All right, let's hop right on into prompt number 2. It's a pink one, and this is the 3rd time I'm picking pink, so we're getting close to having to add a 6th book to this TBR game. So this pink prompt reads, read a dark academia. I was kind of going between books again for this prompt, but I have decided that the book that I'm going to read for the dark academia book is going to be Atlas 6 by Olivia Blake, and I'm super excited for this one. My parents got me this book for Christmas, so I've had it not too long, so go me for reading books that I've recently hauled. But yeah, this one has definitely taken BookTube and Bookstagram, Book Talk, everything like that by storm. I honestly don't know too much about this book. I'm the type that a book is hyped, I buy it, you know, because that's just the type of reader that I am. And then I decide for myself if the book deserves the hype in my opinion or if it doesn't. So we'll see what I think about the Atlas 6. But reading from the back of the book, what I'm gathering about this is we are following a secret society of magical academicians. I don't know how to say that word, but that's who we're following. Magical academics, I guess, is what we're going for. These people will secure a life of wealth, power, and prestige beyond their wildest dreams. And then each decade, only the 6 most uniquely talented magicians are selected to be considered for initiation. And so in this book, we're following the latest round of 6 magicians who are fighting for this prestigious spot, in which they will have 1 year to qualify for initiation into this secret society. 5 will be initiated, 1 will be eliminated. I think that's interesting because usually when we have a competition, only one person is usually the winner of it all. So it's interesting to see how this will work given that 5 of 6 are going to be initiated and only 1 will be eliminated. So it's kind of opposite of what we're usually presented with in books. So far, so good. But let's see what the 3rd book is going to be that will join these already 2 probably amazing books. Okay, orange. This is also the third orange making it on my list. So we'll see. I feel like maybe June, July, that's when it's gonna get real up in here. But this one is Read a Retelling. Okay, boom. I can finally read this book and put it as a priority on my TBR. And that's because These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong is a retelling of Romeo and Juliet. Yes, I could finally read These Violent Delights. Like, I've been wanting to read this book for so long. And now it's finally like in my face. Read this book. This is your sign. This is a Romeo and Juliet retelling set in 1920s Shanghai. It's fantasy, it's young adult, it's romance. So like these are all the things that I love about books. So I have no doubt that I'm going to love this book. We have a blood feud between two gangs. And at the heart of it all is 18-year-old Juliet Kai. She's a former flapper girl who has returned to begin her duties as the proud heir of the Scarlet Gang, a network of criminals far above the law. And their only rivals in power are the White Flowers, who have fought the Scarlets for generations. And behind the White Flowers, we have their heir, Roma Montagov, who was Juliet's first love until he betrayed her. So, there's enemies to lovers in this book too, as well, because you're gonna have rival gangs coming together in romance. And we know I'm all about finishing series in 2022, which means that after I read this book, then I can go ahead and read Our Violent Ends, which is the finale to this duology. I'm just really excited to start going on this journey and finally getting a chance to read the love story between Juliet and Roma. Literally, my TBR game never does me wrong. So love that for me. Let's see what prompt number 4 is going to bring to the table. I'm trying to get way at the bottom here. Give everybody a chance. And look what that does for me. Another light blue prompt. But we're still in the clear. It hasn't reached number 5. This will be number 3 for blue. And the prompt here is to read a spooky book. All right, so I picked a book and I'm honestly shocking myself. The book that I'm choosing is Lair Dreams by Libba Bray, which is the sequel to The Diviners, which I read like 2 years ago. And this is what I mean by I need to finish series, because I read The Diviners so long ago. Like, what even happened in that book, you know? So I'm gonna have to find something, a blog post, a summary, something for The Diviners in order for me to be able to hop right into Lair Dreams, because I don't want to reread The Diviners. But I do remember enjoying The Diviners and wanting to finish the series out. And so this is the only way that I'm going to force myself to finish series, is by placing them on my TBR. Because I had other options for spooky books that I really want to read, but none of them were of series. But I want to finish series in 2022. I don't know how many times I have to say that. So Lair Dreams it is. I can't even tell you what this series is about, honestly. So I'm pulling out my Diviners book to read kind of what happened in this book here. So I remember the main character, we had Evie O'Neill, exiled from her old hometown, and she was shipped off to New York City, where I believe she was staying with family members. Yeah, so she's staying with her Uncle Will. He has an unhealthy obsession with the occult, but Evie does have a supernatural power that she doesn't want anyone to find out about. But when the police call her uncle to the crime scene of a murdered girl branded with the cryptid symbol, Evie realizes her gift could actually help catch a serial killer. That is what The Diviners was about. I'm going to be doing my own research to recall all of the events that happened so that I am well prepared for Lair Dreams, which is thicker than The Diviners. And I remember my one issue with The Diviners was that I thought it was too long. This book is longer. We'll see what that means. But this is gonna be the book I choose for the Read a Spooky Book prompt. We have already made it to the end of this video. Time to pick the 5th and final prompt for April. All right, we have some color variety. We have a brown prompt. And this one says, read an ebook or a graphic novel. We all know that I already picked Heartstopper Volume 2 for the first prompt, but we all know that I was debating between Heartstopper Volume 2 and the first book in the Bridgerton series. So for this prompt, I'm going to pick the first book of the Bridgerton series that I will probably purchase as an ebook. So like I said earlier in the video, Bridgerton Season 2 just came out a couple of days ago. And so now I have the sudden urge to watch Bridgerton. I didn't watch Season 1, so obviously that's where I'm going to start. And like the true bookworm that I am, it's law to read the book before you watch something. So I want to read the book before I watch the show. What do you guys think? Should I read the book first or should I watch the show first? Because I've seen arguments for both sides. So I'm not sure what I want to do. So that right now is an unknown. We shall see what future Kristen ends up deciding on that. But what we do know is that Bridgerton Book 1 is going to be the book that I choose for this prompt. I know that it's like a historical romance, and that's pretty much all I know about the Bridgerton series. I don't know what the plot is supposed to be about. I'm just gonna keep it that way and kind of go in blind so I could be hopefully pleasantly surprised. And literally, how crazy is it that I got a notification from Netflix saying Bridgerton Season 2 is now available literally just now. We all know my FBI agent is awake and working this morning because yikes, that was a little bit too perfect. So to wrap up, these are going to be the 4 books that I read, plus Bridgerton, which will make 5. Heartstopper Volume 2, The Atlas 6, These Violent Delights, Lair of Dreams, and Bridgerton Book 1. So I'm just thinking that April is going to be an amazing reading month. I'm super excited for all the reading that is going to be getting done. The only other book that I am planning to read or hoping to read in the month of April that didn't make it onto my TBR is going to be House of Sky and Breath by the one and only Sarah J. Maas, because I haven't read it yet and it's about time. I have the audiobook from Audible for this, so it shouldn't really be that big of a deal. We're just gonna get into it and finally get to read about what happens next in the journey of Hunt and Bryce. I'm not trying to put too much pressure on myself this month. I usually have, and I want to read this book, and I want to read this book, and I want to read that book, but I'm capping it there. Leave it as the only extra book is going to be House of Earth and Blood, because I just can't do this to myself and keep on choosing books and then not reading them. So I actually want to focus on my TBR this month in April. But I'm saying that while I have all these ideas in my head of different vlog ideas I want to do soon. So in order for that to happen, I have to read other books that are not included in this set TBR. So we'll see what happens, because literally I wake up and I have a different idea and I go with it if I want to, or I stick with my TBR. But I honestly hope that I stick to my TBR this month, because y'all saw those books. They're exciting and I want to stick to that. So stay tuned to see what actually happens in Kristen's reading life. That is all I have from you guys today. This was a short video and I love that for me. If you like this video, please give it a big like, comment down below, subscribe to my channel if you're not already, and make sure your notification bell is turned on so that you don't miss any uploads from me. If you made it to the end of this video, please comment down below some rose emojis, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!